So, a windy day in Scotland. Nice, beautiful blue skies, but windy. It's Friday afternoon, and I'm starting to hear a lot of things. Like, I've been following politics in a way, but not really too deeply. I'm not very well spoken, and make a sound of that. Not very well spoken, and just working class guy who sees all the signs, people being hounded and people getting charged for retweeting stuff that was false. You know what I mean? It's like, so what? You know what I mean? It's like, what about it? It was a mistake. Everybody's allowed to make mistakes, you know. Then we're seeing the sentencing the guy. Was it 20 odd months? 20? Was it? I think he does 12 year, maybe 12 months. Sorry, I think he got 24 months. Then you've got other guys getting community service because they're a different culture, different ethnic. I don't know what you want to call it, with like getting shut down and charged in Scotland for hate crimes. It is very difficult for anybody. It's like everybody's scared to come out and say how you feel. But you know, Facebook and all the rest of them are like shut the voice of the right down. Basically, they're saying, this is what's happening. You're going to take it and you're going to shut up. Okay, so that's what Facebook and I think YouTube are starting to take Tommy Robinson's videos down now. I've searched really long and hard for videos of Tommy Robinson where he's being racist, or where he's like, you know, he's like doing anything that deserves the amount of attention, negative attention and prosecution that he's getting from the British government. Now, all I seem to find is blacks and whites coming together, like, you know, Iranians, Israelis, Nigerians, all walks in nature of people all coming together. Now, as I said in my last video, for the first time ever, at a Tommy Robinson rally, we found a hand Ulster and a tricolour flying right next to each other. Not just one or two, like 3 or 4 of each. So, with all that in mind, we've all got to really sit back here and ask the question, what has Tommy done to the government? Why do the government hate Tommy Robinson so much? Why are you always hearing all these people like Piers Morgan? So I'm going to do a video on him, so I am. I'm not going to miss him, like Piers Morgan and the many others calling him a white supremacist. Like, you know, it's like far right. I can remember, what was it, 10, 12, 15 years ago, around about 2002, 2003, and burning the swastika flag. Now, Tommy and his mates had to wear masks because of the repercussions from the far right. Now, does this not sound absolutely ridiculous to you? What I'm telling you is truth and fact, no bullshit and no lying. I promise you, I have scoured the internet looking for what Tommy's done wrong. And all I find is good stuff. Everywhere you go, it's all good stuff. Everybody's saying good things about him, you know. But the deeper you look, what you find out is it's not just good stuff. This guy's an actual hero. Now, I find myself pretty a stubborn guy, and you know, I don't really like taking orders from people, and I'm a pretty anti-authority sort of person because of my upbringing in establishments. But you've got to ask yourself some serious questions about why the establishment are saying all these things. Why is it on one hand the public and everybody else in America, like, have you seen the podcast he's on? Have you seen the type of people that are interviewing them? Like, you just need to go on and Google like Tommy Robinson and Facebook, and they are like, it's. I don't think they can shut the Americans down as quick as they can shut us down, because they've got the First Amendment. But it's like, these are the top YouTube guys, content creators, podcasters, whatever you want to call them. They've got them on. They've got them on there. They're like promoting them. They're like saying, here's where you can help. Here's where you can put money into the save Tommy Robinson or help Tommy Robinson, because obviously he's got court case after court case, and you know, we've seen it in America with Trump. You know, it's the same thing, only I would say a lot worse than what Trump's getting. Trump, you know, Tommy doesn't have the backing like Trump has. Tommy relies on people like us, working class people who know and see what's really going on, to help him out, to help him like do these documentaries and everything. Personally, I'm in awe of the guy. You know, I said to my girlfriend yesterday, you know, like I said to her, like, I'm going to do this because I can't sit and say nothing. I've got to like try and get out. Even if I can help a couple of people open their eyes to what's going on, and whether you're in a bit of an area where it could be a bit dodgy. 2 seconds. Clean this lens. You could be in an area that could be getting inundated with the people we're talking about, and with the knowledge I've given you, hopefully you now know to be that wee bit more on your toes. And that's all it's about. It's just protecting ourselves, getting the word out, because the government aren't telling you, the news aren't telling you, the news and the government are the same. You know what I mean? But getting back to Tommy, I said to my girlfriend last night, like, imagine, like, my dream would be to get interviewed by Tommy, or to interview him. Wow, what a feeling. But to be honest with you, I'm not that emotional, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to go on about it, like, but I've done my cran when I was a wee boy, and I don't know if it was a tank or what, but I find it difficult, but to get emotional and stuff. But I don't know, I just think if I was sitting in front of Tommy Robinson, knowing what I know, what he's been through, what his children have been through, his family, I don't think I could not hold back the tears. And like, I know that because when I think about him, or when I see him talking, I get emotional, I struggle, you know, because it's a massive injustice. There's no bigger injustice in Great Britain, apart from obviously the Guildford 4 and the Birmingham 6, things like that going back. Yeah, I know, it's like, say what you want about them, you know what I mean? I know there's different opinions on different sides, but it was proved to be an injustice. But Tommy has been persecuted, tortured. I mean, can you imagine having the full weight of the establishment on you? Can you imagine what that's like, going out for your dinner with your children and the police arresting you on your birthday, or on their birthday, because they've done both, you know? And that's not even talking about the amount of abuse that he was getting, and the threats and the death threats. You know what I mean? There's guys doing 25 years in prison for going to kill him, with everything ready to go, guns and all the rest of it, and I think might have been explosives. You know, and to top that off, when he was in prison, when they jailed him for asking one of the grooming gangs, the Pakistani grooming gangs that were getting done, how do you feel about your conviction? He was put in prison with that, and they put him in with the guys that were trying to kill him, and they were trying to put him on the same wing. Only a prison officer, because they know all bad, a prison officer marked his card and said, Tommy, whatever you do, don't leave the cell, man. So that saved him, and everybody knows that, he knows that, you know what I mean? So we know they've tried to kill him, we know they've doxed him. The Daily Mail doxed his whereabouts with his children the other day. Now, you know, these things, if they were done by anybody else, you would be slaughtered. You would get jailed for it. You could get done for some conspiracy. But no, not against Tommy Robinson. You know, they hope not hate. Absolutely horrible bunch of people. And I will do a video on them as well. But you're not going to believe how bad these people are, like, and how much of a threat they are. They are at an equal level. I'd say they're more dangerous because they look like us. But equal level as dangerous as the extremists of Islam that are coming here to harm us. And that's no word of lie, you know. That's my opinion. I'm not a hateful person, you know what I mean? But I can see hate when I see it. And I am going to call it out. There's no two ways about it. So Hope Not Hate, they along with some high-ranking Muslim lawyers. I'm not sure if this one was involved with that Benjamin, whatever her name was, that joined ISIS and then wanted to come back. I think he was her lawyer. I think he might. I may be wrong. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go on just in case of causing problems. I don't really know how all this works, and you know, I mean, you got to be careful. But I don't mean anybody any harm and all. I'm just talking facts and what's going on in the world. They got an extremist left guy to deliver a summons because he was being taken to court over that Syrian boy who was waterboarded and on the carry on with young Bailey that Piers Morgan nearly got killed. But that whole thing's come out in the documentary, so I don't want to get taken off track here and there, but it's no just the government. It's the government have got people like Piers Morgan and Hope Not Hate, and there's another guy, Owen, I can't remember his name. If you remember, put it up in the chat. Yeah, these guys are working hand in hand with the most extremists of the left that have infiltrated Labour, and they're as dangerous and as causing as many problems for Tommy. It's like he's getting it from all angles, and it is extreme what he's dealing with. His family, you know, they like I say, they sent the extremists to his house, and they videoed it and put it online, and they showed the name of the street. So they docked his wife had to hit the panic button. The kids were terrified. This is going on and on. Now, you got to think about this properly. Now, I know you don't know Tommy. I don't know him, but this could be me. It could be you. It could be anybody. And all he's done is tell the truth. So, and many times, the establishment, the government, along with Hope Not Hate and other organisations on the extreme left that are right in there with Labour, have tried to get Tommy killed many times. Too many times to even hang. One day, and this is an hour on the nose, one day there's going to be a full and utter inquiry about what happened to Tommy, and everybody involved will be held accountable. I can guarantee that, because everybody in the world now knows that Tommy Robinson is being persecuted by the British government. Everybody knows. He's no far right, he's no extremist, he's not a white supremacist. He loves all colours and races and hangy. He's just got a problem with Islam, the extremists of Islam, which is a small minority, but it's a very dangerous minority. If you knew how many people were in the IRA compared to how many people are in Ireland and the amount of damage they caused, extremists are very dangerous, because it only takes one person to plant a bomb, or it only takes one person to stab a load of children in a play park or in a school, and it's just fear for his country, and I understand it. Unfortunately, Tommy, I think it's too late, mate. London's gone, 100% London's gone, and the way it's done, your demographic of where they are, it's not even as if you can, there's no way out of it. The only way I can think of it, of England not being gone, is if the King steps in. Now, the King should step in, because his crown is at risk. William and the children and their children's crown is at risk. Everybody can see that. I can see that. You know, I'm just like I say, we're just guys in the street. We're just people that's going through life. But we can see that 110%. If they're able to infiltrate London the way they have and keep the Sadiq Khan in power, the most hated politician in Britain, by the way, he is the most hated guy. It's all over internet. There's I think he's overtook the hatred that was for Maggie Thatcher and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's just a politicianal thing. You know, we don't love all politicians, and we love some politicians, but the general public do not like this man. and he's been able to stay in power for so long now. So that just gives you a wee snippet. That gives you an idea of where things are going. If you want to know where England's going, look at London, right? Just look at London. Anybody with any sense will agree with me. So that being said, the only thing we've got left now is to protect ourselves, protect our own children and our own borders. Scotland will be the next after England, and like I've said before, Northern Ireland will probably must be a stronghold in the Western world for Christianity and stuff like that. I've got no doubt about it. If the king doesn't step in and do something about it right now, and something needs to be done right now. The king needs to step in right now and abolish Parliament. 18 million people never voted. I know for a fact. I'm speaking to people in the pubs and clubs and everywhere. All your places, anywhere there's people gathering, and we're talking. Everybody's talking about it. Let's talk of the nation right now, and everybody's saying the same thing. I will never not vote again. Everybody's saying the same thing. I promise you, King Charles. I speak on behalf of the nation. I promise you, the 18 million that never voted, we are sorry. We are sorry. I promise you. If you create a snap election, I promise you, you will get the full support of this country voting for the first time ever. This is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for democracy. Why aren't they all jumping on it? Labour have come in. They're only in a month. And you can see the damage that they're doing. You can see their policies. The old people are suffering. What you're not seeing, what you're not really paying attention to, is what Labour have been doing behind the scenes of all the rats. Now, I'm not that well versed in all that. I know it's bad. You know what I mean? I know it's bad. I know they're cutting back on a lot of things because they've got to pay for the illegal aliens coming in. You know, they got to be fed and watered and paid their PIP and paid their housing benefit and paid their universal credit. So that's a lot, you know what I mean? That's a lot. There's 10, is it, what many's coming in a week? 10, is it 1,000, 2,000, 3,000? I don't know. There's a lot coming in every week. And that's only the ones coming in a boat. That's not the ones coming in the back of lorries, in the back of camper vans, in the back of caravans, underneath lorries. We have no clue how many illegal, undocumented, no clue. And it is a lot worse than what we know. Like I say, I'm not hateful. I love everybody. I love everybody that loves me. You know what I mean? It's difficult. You know what I mean? It's really difficult. But we're all agreed there is a section of the community that despises our culture, despises our religion. There's only one God, as they say, and their main job is to get rid of us and take over. And we know that because they've said it plenty of times. Ali Dawa is one of the main guys of letting the cats slip out of the bag, sort of thing, you know. Sometimes they speak so loud that you don't really see the message, but you've got to listen carefully. The message is there. They're telling you straight to your face. We're here, we're staying, and we're taking over. So we know that for a fact. That's 110%. Whenever you see the two-tier policing, the way, let's take for instance, look at that Labour councillor telling people to cut the far right's throat. Now, you got to understand who the far right are in their eyes. The far right in their eyes are the far right that Keir Starmer's telling you. So who are they really? They're just normal working class people. They've had enough. They've had enough. They've seen the damage the rape gangs have done. They see the two-tier policing. Let's think of this for a minute. Like, stop for one thing. Pay attention. Listen to this very carefully. There was a Labour councillor, cut the throats of them all, right? What would happen to Tommy Robinson if Tommy Robinson was to do that? Imagine Tommy Robinson was to turn around and say the exact same thing, only direct at them. How long do you think it would be before they would go and get him, no matter where he is in the world? Trust me, they would go and get him, bring him straight back. They would have a show trial. Everything would be all over the media. Everybody who supported him would be getting slaughtered and put all over the media. There would be repercussions of people reposting his stuff and all the rest of it. It would be an abomination of everything known about and breathed about Tommy Robinson if Tommy Robinson had done that. There's your two-tier. There's your two-tier, Mr. Keir. You know, it's quite good in a way because most of us have like in that know stuff, you know what I mean? Obviously I am a wee bit political because of my country and what we've been through, so I understand the workings of politicians and parliament. I advise you all to start learning the workings of politicians and parliament, because the only way we're going to beat them is by learning their game. You understand? We need as many journalists, citizen journalists. You've got a camera, you get out there. You film what you see. You film what you see and you report it. You report it on your Facebook, on your TikTok. You won't get it on Facebook, but you whatever platforms are available, you use them, and that's what you can do for your country, for your children. You don't need to go out and riot. You don't even need to go out and do peaceful protests. You've got a phone, you're walking about with an internet, a computer. Like I keep on saying, if more of us keep on doing stuff like this, more of us are going to be aware of what's going on. Once you're aware of what's going on, they can't do you any harm because you see the danger coming. Things are bad. Things are really, really bad. This is the worst it's ever been. But quite a lot of us seen it coming. But the problem was the way they done it and the way they are. You know, they told lies and everything and all that. You know, nobody had a really... That election was like a piss in the wind. We didn't know what direction it was going in because people had just fed up. You know what I mean? And Labour have took advantage of that. They've took advantage of us being fed up with illegal immigrants to win an election and push their agenda for more illegal immigrants. How ironic is that? How ironic does that sound? The whole nation is going, stop, enough, we've seen enough. We've seen enough horrors, please, no more. But they keep on doing it. And they're not going to stop doing it until they've got exactly what they want. I don't know if it's to do with Saudi Arabia and all that in Qatar. I know the countries own quite a lot of London. I know that, like the Gherkin and all that. You need to look into it. I'm not 100% sure, but I know they do own a lot of all them, like the business part, all the high rises and all that, the financial town part, city of the city. I don't know if there's been a deal done somewhere, the world, whatever, I don't know. And this England at least has been sold. Well, if they're going to sell England out, they're going to sell the whole bit out, you know, the mainland. So Scotland will be next. I don't know if that is happening. If it sounds a wee bit, what's the word, fantasist, you know. Like I say, I'll try my best, but you know what I'm saying. It sounds a bit crazy that they're just sold our country out and right, okay, we're just going to fill it with a Muslim religion people, and they don't need to prove who they are, or if they've got any crimes, they can come in, throw their passports away, and they can give us a new name, start life all over again. Wouldn't that be good? How good would that be? Like all your mistakes, all your debts, and everything you've done, you can just pack up, head over to America or somewhere, France, you know, and then just go, you know what, I'm just going to stay here and live here, and then you bring everybody else over with you. It doesn't happen. It's crazy, you know. Tommy Robinson said something today in one of the podcasts that I heard, and it was like mixing oil and water. And there's no truer saying, mixing oil. That's what it's like right now in Great Britain. They're trying to mix oil and water. Oil and water doesn't mix. And it's a shame, because we are that type of nation that we do try with every person. We really do, you know. There's so many people from foreign lands that have settled in this country who can honestly say, yeah, I'm one of them people. All right, I understand there was a bit of racism in the 80s and all that, like, but you know, if you look deep down, that was a small minority of people, and it has always. So it was focused on them. They represent Britain. Look, the Nazis, the skinheads, they represent. This is what it was like, man. They never did. It was just a small minority of people that were full of hate, you know. And that's all it's about. It's just about people hating, you know. We aren't that type of nation. It's obvious, because look around you. You know, who's coming to your street to look after your old folk? Who's the carers? Who does the carers? Who do they employ? It's mostly foreigners. I mean, the ones that do the jobs that we don't want. So you've got to ask yourself as well, why do we not want to do those jobs? Well, maybe because those jobs are really difficult, cleaning toilets and stuff like that, looking after people, having to clean people. Quite difficult jobs for people to do. There's only a select few in the community who can do it, and they're the most nicest people. So they really are. I've met some of them. They're the most nicest, generous, kindest people we have that work in the care system. But as you know, care is all about mostly about older folk or pensioners, and they're no shrewd anymore. You know, their P's and Q's aren't as good anymore. You know what I mean? Because they're old. You know what I mean? And some of them can be quite touchy-feely about, like, a Scottish person not actually looking after him, or an Irish person not looking after him. I don't know how I would feel, like, you know. I honestly think the only people that can look after our old folk is us. And the reason why the government struggle to get people like this is because they don't pay enough. Like, why would a footballer get paid millions and the person looking after the old folk gets paid minimum wage? One of the hardest jobs you've got, and we're paying the minimum wage, and then we wonder why we've got to bring other people in to do it. I mean, hats off to them people. Most of them are kind and caring, but I think our old folk deserve at least that one bit of courtesy, that they are looked after and cleaned up by people from their own nation. Now, maybe you may find that not right, or why, but I'm just trying to explain to you that the old people are different. Years ago it was different, you know, and I would not like a person who's got caught up in the establishment lies of racism and all the rest of it, you know, saying bad things to somebody who comes in because they're a different colour, and that person not treating them right because of it. Things like that worry me, so they do. But there's always solutions, you know. The amount of money we're spending on these people to do the jobs that we don't want to do, and all these people will be going into security. You've seen the video with the policeman, can only speak a word English. Where's your proof? Quite a lot of them are here to police us, you know what I mean? Because they're going to do what they're told by the government, because we're not, because we can see what's happening. But see, you could go on all day. You could go on all day, and I'm not going to stop going on about this. And all I'm asking you to do, and I'm not wanting fame, I'm not looking for money, I'm not monetising nothing, I'm in this for my child that's coming. I'm in this for my fellow countrymen. I love my country. Even though I'm in Scotland, I love my country. The 6 counties in Northern Ireland, Ulster, I love my country. I love my country easily, and it's more than anything in the world. And I'm happy in Scotland because Scotland's smaller than Britain. I haven't left Britain. I'll never leave Britain. But I love Scotland as much as I love Northern Ireland. I also love England as much. I love Britain. There's no difference. I just think it's my duty to speak up, because I've never seen anything like this in my life. I've never seen injustices done to a man like Tommy Robinson, what the government and all these other famous people like Piers Morgan are doing and saying about him. Especially when he had no right to reply, when they took him off everything. They took him off Facebook, YouTube. He had nothing, no platform. He couldn't speak back about all the accusations. Can you imagine what that's like? Sitting there, having all the newspapers and all the news media calling you racist and far right, and you can't even defend yourself. That alone is horrific for any human being to suffer. And he suffered it for year after year after year. Finally, thank you, Elon Musk. Because I promise you, Tommy Robinson is not a bad man. I promise you, he is not a racist. He's not far right. He's not an Nazi. He's the opposite to what the government are saying. I promise you, on my mother's grave, Tommy Robinson is the opposite to what the British government are saying about him, and all their tools that work in the media, Sky News and BBC, you know. And I hope to God, I pray to God, if there's anybody listens to this in years to come, or months to come, when things are changing, we need to hold people accountable for what happened and what's happening to Tommy Robinson, if he survives. And if he doesn't survive, if he is murdered, we have to hold the people accountable who pushed whoever's killed him in the direction of doing that. Because what they're doing is really, really dangerous. And I would hate them to do that to me. You all need to sit down and just put yourselves in Tommy's shoes and imagine being a really good person and loving nothing but your country and your children, but being treated like you're a traitor by your own government. We need to really sit up and start looking at things. We need to start talking about things. We need to start understanding that the government and Sky Media, BBC News and all the newspapers, The Guardian and all the rest of them are all working for the left, and they're not telling us the truth. They're telling us lies. We're being lied to. We're being lied to the people that are meant to be looking after us. I don't think people actually realise how serious this is. I keep saying God help us all. King Charles, you can stop this. You can save this country. Save yourself. Because once they came for us, they're coming for you. Trust me. They've already said that. You know that. You know that. You're being well advised. It's not like Starmer being advised by hope not hate. You're being advised by reality and the truth. And like I say, I'm just a guy in a forest. Just a guy in a forest with my dog. And I know what's happening. I can tell you exactly what's happening. And we're in trouble unless you do something. Thanks for listening. Listen, like I say, I'm not looking money or monetized or anything like that, and I'll stand by them words. I'll never take a penny. If I ever did make money, I would give every penny to Tommy Robinson. That's the truth of it. Every penny that I can spare will go to Tommy Robinson. And I ask you all, start looking at it, looking into it. You know, do your own research. Search for the racism. Search for the hatred. He's just a worried dad like the rest of us. That's all he is. Thanks, guys. Like, share, do your own video. Tell people how you're feeling. If you're feeling scared about the situation, if you're worried about your children's future, come on and talk about it. It helps. It helps. You'll find other people in the comments supporting you. You know, and that's what it's all about. It's all about supporting each other. Because I know there's other people like me that's worried and scared. You know, and I'm scared of nothing. But it scares the life out of me.